Hey guys, it's John and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making a painting of my dad. Okay, so at the time of recording, Dad's birthday is tomorrow. I started this painting at 9:45 in the evening. I know, world's greatest son. I figured I'd use this as an example to show one of my watercolor portraits or mixed media portraits. I don't do them very often because it's difficult to get a likeness, but Dad's kind of special, so I decided that I would do one for him today, and luckily you get to see the whole process. The sample image that I used when I created this had some pretty poor lighting, so I'm deciding here that I'm going to have my lighting coming from the top left side of the painting. So I'm going to go ahead and take that into account for my background, and I'm making the right bottom side of the background a little darker than the top left, just to give more of an effect of that light. As I'm using this video as part of his gift for his birthday, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my dad and bring up some fun facts and good memories that I have with him. For starters, his name is also John. I was named after him. My name is John Johnson II, and he's John Johnson I. On the topic of names, there's actually a funny discrepancy between the two of us. When I was born, obviously I was named after him, so my middle name, just like his, is Gordon. However, on our birth certificates, our middle names are spelt differently. Mine is Gordon, Gordon, and on his birth certificate, it's Gordan. I'm not sure how that got missed, but he swears to this day that it's not his fault, and Mom must have wrote my name in wrong. You can see during my painting here, I put in a base tone for his main color of his skin, and now I'm going through and applying some secondary colors. Rosy cheeks, red nose, a little bit of blue around his stubble, just things that are going to make him look more alive. Another fun fact about my dad is that he actually has his own YouTube channel. It's called Firearms Training by John G. Johnson, and at the time of recording, he has 40,425 subscribers. About 3 years ago, I helped him start his YouTube channel. We started with about 28 subscribers, and in the course of those 3 years, we're all the way up to 40,000. In the photo I used for reference, Dad has a camo hat on. Camo is something that can be as difficult as you make it. I chose to make the camo mostly green with some splotchiness, and I think it turned out really well at the end of the painting. So here I go with the first base pass of the shadow layer. I'm making up a nice warm shadow, and just like I said earlier, with my light coming from the top left, I'm going to put most of my shadows on the bottom right side of his face. Another fun fact about my dad is he is an avid hunter. He fell out of it for several years as I was growing up, but just recently, within the last year or two, he's gotten really back into it. And I believe in a couple weeks now, season's going to open back up, and he's already got some spots reserved on a couple different hunting leases. Here I go with a second pass for slightly darker shadows on his face. I'm going to get this with watercolors to a point that I'm pretty happy, where I can get the likeness and see where I'm going with it, and then I'm going to move on to colored pencils and eventually pens. My dad is the youngest of 4 brothers, and I bring that up because at some point during this painting, when I've got a lot of the watercolor details in before I put in the glasses, he actually looks like his brother Jerry, I think. So here we go with the Prismacolors. I'm going to come in here and basically I'm using these to warm up some of his cheek area, his nose, provide a little more sharp detail around his eyes and in some of his wrinkles. I'm also going to go in and define some streaks of hair so that my white pen stands out better later. Mainly, I'm just using this stage to further refine the technical aspects of this piece. Another fun thing about my dad is he actually really likes to sing a lot. Some of his favorite bands to sing are bands like Journey, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, Eddie Rabbitt, Brooks and Dunn, all your stereotypical old guy bands. If you get him drinking enough around a karaoke night, he's liable to whip one of those out, no problem. Pretty much my whole life, Dad and I have both been avid fishermen. I don't see him as much now, so we don't go fishing quite as much as we used to. But I have a lot of very important core memories that involve him, a fishing rod, and a very hot sun. You can see me coming through here and darkening up his sideburns and goatee. His hair actually is not that dark. It's not white, it's platinum. Not white, platinum. Got you, Dad. However, making it dark now is going to make my white pen stand out better later. Since I've told you a little bit about our fishing, when I was in middle school, my dad and I used to just about every weekend do these little local fishing tournaments out of D&D bait and tackle. There'd be a consistent group of 8 to 15 guys that were out there every Saturday morning at about 6 in the morning to do this tournament. You can see me coming through now with pens. I'm going to outline some stuff and put some finer details with this black pen, and then I'm going to go into a white pen. The thing that Dad and I really enjoyed about these weekly tournaments is that they were always catch and release only, so you couldn't keep any of the fish that you scored with. In order to score with the fish, you would be given a specific playing card the morning of the tournament that they'd noted down, and you had to have that playing card in the picture next to your fish with a measuring tape held up to the side of it. And that was the only way that they would score anything that you caught. Naturally, the biggest specimens I caught of any of the scoring species for those tournaments were on non-tournament days. I'm getting close to done with the pens here, so I'm going to jump to the white pen now. I'm going to go back in and detail his goatee and his sideburns, add the rest of his glasses, and do some final touch-ups here. It's a little too one note here when I'm looking at it, so I'm going to come in and darken the background up with that cross hatching that I did in the drawing of Kevin the dog that I posted the other day. My dad has always been a very outspoken and avid supporter of my creativity and my desires to make art. And so this channel really, I don't think ever would have happened had he not been there, along with my mom, to really encourage me to continue making art. Honestly, if it weren't for Dad, I don't think I'd be an artist at all. Something that I've done in the past that I really enjoy is when I put a big border like this on a painting, I like to take a section of the subject and bring it out in front of the border. And so for this one, I decided to bring Dad's hat over the top border so that he stands out further in front of the background. As I'm getting close to the end here, I want to thank everybody for watching. If you're still here, I really appreciate you watching the video all the way through. Don't forget, if you did enjoy any part of this, to like and subscribe. Leave me a comment, maybe tell me about your dad, or maybe some other fun ideas we can do for presents instead of just giving Dad a painting every year. Share this video with your friends if you think they'd be interested in it. You know, all the standard YouTube stuff. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. I'll show you a finished picture of it in the frame, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you, Dad. Happy birthday.